Today I'm interviewing Kathy Robertson about her time in the Swedish colony.
I was born in Stockholm, which is right next to New Sweden, all part of the Swedish colony. And I lived there until I was 14 years old. And then my family moved away. And now I have moved back to where I belong.
What is your favorite thing about living in the Swedish colony?
Well, when I was younger, my favorite thing was the fact that my mother and all of her neighbor ladies would get together very often and have coffee parties and birthday parties and always all that good food. I've always liked good food.
Doesn't everybody?
Yeah.
What was school like?
Okay, we in Stockholm we had two schools. We had the little school, which was first and second grade, and then we had what we called the big school across the road, and that was grade 3 through 12. And so I went to school there through the 9th grade, and that's when we moved.
Okay. What is the most memorable story for you?
As a child, well, we were very carefree, and we could go and play anywhere we wanted to. We knew we were safe. We had nothing to worry about. Until one day, my mother said to me, "I don't want you to go up and play by the fire tower today because somebody saw a bear up there." And that's when everything changed. Then from then on, I had to think, could there be a bear out there somewhere?
What was Midsummer like compared to how it is now?
I never went to midsummer celebrations at all in my earlier years. I don't think I even knew that they existed. But I have made up for it since I moved back here because now I'm very involved.
Yeah.
Yes.
How many siblings do you have?
11. We were 7 boys and 5 girls, and we're down to 4.
Okay. How is the Swedish colony different today than then?
There are a lot fewer Swedish people, and there are definitely a lot fewer people who speak Swedish. So it's always a treat when we come across somebody who actually speaks Swedish, and I think all of us know a few phrases, but we'd like to know a lot more, right?
Yes. How did you get to school?
We walked. If the children who lived far enough away that they couldn't walk, someone gave them a ride. We didn't have an actual school bus, but somebody in their car picked them up. But where I lived, I was in back of the school, probably a quarter of a mile or so, and so we just took a path through the woods, and that's how we got to school. We had to go home for lunch. If you lived that close that you could walk, then you could go home for lunch.
What type of chores did you have?
As few as possible. My older sisters, thank goodness, love to do housework, and so they told my younger sister and myself, "If you go outside and get out of here, we'll do the housework." And I said, "Oh, that's great, that's fine." The only chore that I had really was every fall we picked potatoes. I started picking potatoes when I was 5 years old, and I picked every year up until I was 14 when we moved away.
What is something you wished you had?
When I was a kid, the one thing I wished that we had was a car, because we didn't have one, and so we always had to ride with somebody else if we went somewhere, until my older brothers who had moved away, if they came home to visit, then they would take us places, but otherwise we had no car.
And is there any other stories you'd like to share?
I would like to share now how much we are trying very hard to keep the Swedish colony alive. And right now we're gearing up to the year 2020, which is now only 2 years away, because then we'll be 150 years old, and we hope to have a big celebration.
And you're fine with me posting this to YouTube, correct?
Pardon?
You're fine with me posting this to YouTube?
Oh, absolutely. You're doing a great job interviewing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.